We are back on. Okay, let me just clarify 1 second before we get into the second part of the show. I actually messed up the titles. The show, the half hour before this one, I marked it part two, and I marked this one part one. So if you're,
Backwards move.
yeah, so if I must have walked through a doorway. So if you are just tuning in, part one is part two, and part two is part one, and so on and so on. So anyway, we're talking about Lee and his guns and I don't know, potential murder here.
No murder. I'm one of the most passive, nice people you'll ever meet in person.
Oh, I know.
Until you try to do something that's that bad where I have to just walk away.
Well, if I ever had a gun, I wouldn't register it. I mean, and even you just said that too. A lot of people in Jersey don't register guns. I don't know what their reasons are for, but for me, if I'm shooting to kill, and I don't want it coming back to me.
Well, again. I don't know. Like I said, and let me break. But from what I understand, anybody of the legal age of 21 can go get a firearm.
Yeah.
I think they changed some rules. Like, for instance, I think the major sporting goods stores that used to carry rifles and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, or even assault rifles, like sawed-offs. Well, not sawed-offs, but like, short-range shotguns or 12 gauge or whatever it might be. Various handguns or weapons like that. They discontinued selling them. And this was months, if not like maybe a year or so, well before this incident took place.
Mm-hmm.
But example, if in fact I still have my license to carry and my firearm was pulled on someone and they didn't have an equal, another weapon on them,
Right.
I'm already in trouble at that point already. Or for instance, if someone breaks into your house,
Yeah.
and you open fire, you just don't even warn them, you just fucking shoot them.
Yeah.
Like if you shoot them and like take them down and you make another shot to kill them, you're
Right.
going to jail.
Wow.
Because there's just so many rules of engagement, and again, and they falls for cops too. Because cops are like, "Oh, I'm a cop," blah blah blah. It doesn't work that way. Like,
Yeah.
Just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're gonna get away with it.
Right.
Incident happened like that not too long ago up in North Philly. They didn't air about it because it's North Philly, so the fuck they care.
Yeah. Exactly.
But an incident happened where an off-duty cop I think it was a supermarket or one of those corner stores or whatever.
Yeah.
Robbery took place. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cop pulled out. He didn't kill the guy. He just took him down. He shot him and just took him down. That's it. He didn't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But because he was off duty and because he didn't actually warn the robber that he was going to shoot him, he got in serious shit for it. I don't think he lost his job or anything. And they put him on a desk job for a little while so that everything cleared up. But they still gave him shit about it. So, on one hand, I see where people get upset about the idea of regulations with firearms, and another, they should just make it clear to people who actually are able and capable of having these type of weapons on their person. Oh, and if you want a really good laugh,
Mm-hmm.
you get a chance, and this is for listeners too. Go on YouTube and look up the Piers Morgan interview from last night about gun regulations, and watch the fucking guy the guy who he interviewed lose his fucking shit.
Why? What'd he say? What happened?
Dude, I don't know how the argument really started. I kind of tuned in the middle of it, but apparently the premise of the argument, because they were having a civil conversation like me and you were having, and somehow it spiraled out of complete control. Because I guess the host Piers Morgan said something to this guy and got this guy so fucking worked up, like he was cursing up a storm, saying Piers should be deported based on the fact that he doesn't know shit about the Second Amendment. Like, he just rips this guy apart. Like, I can't really say verbatim word for word what he said, but It is funny shit though. Like, this guy loses his fucking mind. They actually are going to do a continuation of it tonight. Like,
it got that many ratings.
Yeah, because this guy literally lost. Like, it was so bad. Like, he literally lost his shit, and it's like, because everybody swears up and down there's going to be regulations. What people don't understand is gun regulations, even well before this incident happened, were going to go into play anyway because there's so many loopholes. Like, for instance, you can have a firearm registered in PA,
Yeah.
still have your carry to go to Florida, or in California. I think we'll see. There's 2 other states that you're allowed to move over, which you can't carry a gun across, state lines, but you can still get a firearm and still you don't have to re-register your fire or your license to carry from one state to another. So if I come from California and I moved, say, to Nevada, if that's say like that's other neutral state, I can still keep my license to carry from Cali while I'm in Nevada, state of Nevada, and get another gun registered in Nevada, but I have my carry license from California. It's all, and it plays the same way. So there's always those loopholes.
So you're really into guns. Like, you know all the laws and everything.
Well, they always change them, so I'm always reading up on them. I mean, I'm more of an enthusiast than anything else. I'm not really, like, hung-go about it.
Right.
What I'm hung-go about is, like I said, cars and music.
Well, what made you want to get a gun in the first place?
Really, I got into it more as a hobby. When I was younger, one of my foster parents actually introduced me to shooting. I wasn't really good at it at all.
Oh, of course not.
But,
I mean, it was your first time and you're a little kid,
Well, I mean, I wasn't that young. I was 13 when I got my first, handgun. And it wasn't mine. It was actually one of those things where it was his, but where we were at, it was like he had a lot of land, so it's not like somebody's going to stop by and say, hey, what are you doing? It was like, him and all his buddies and their kids and us. So it wasn't like we were like most of the kids out there that were between the ages of 13 and 16, they've been shooting for a while. At least the older kids have been. And it really was just for leisure. And then as I got older, I kind of read up on some things with certain weapons and certain how to, how to use them, how to clean them, how to properly fire certain weapons. And so, certain, just like that. It's more of a hobby.
You weren't one of the shooters at the Boys in the Hood movie premiere, were you?
Nah, I wasn't.
Right. Just making sure.
That movie fucking sucked.
Boys in the Hood?
Yeah, that movie sucked.
Oh, I liked it.
I fucking hated that shit. I was like, this is why we get fucking judged.
Well, you know what I watched last night? A little bit of?
American History X.
What?
American History X.
Nah, but you know what? I don't understand the ending of that movie. I'm guessing you've seen it.
Yeah.
Does Edward Norton go? Does Edward Norton go back to being a racist because his brother got shot by a black guy, or?
I don't fucking. I guess the point of that is what goes around comes around. Karma's a bitch. That's what I looked at. Like, okay, this was justified to a degree.
So I guess it's just an open end for interpretation.
Pretty much. Well, anything with Spike Lee behind it will leave open interpretation.
Did
Except Inside Man. That was not one of those movies.
Did Spike Lee do American History X?
Yeah. Oh. Oddly enough, he did.
Get out! He was the director?
He was the director.
I had no idea.
I didn't realize it until halfway through because you know how some people have a signature caption or a signature way of shooting, like Michael Bay likes to blow up shit.
Yeah.
Or M. Night Shyamalan likes to do things where it's all mysterious, like, and he has a roll shot. Like, there's certain things you can pick up on.
Yeah.
And there were certain scenes in the movie where I was like, this looks a lot like, and I didn't even when I watched it, I didn't realize that either. And like, even at the very, very end, and I finally, like, maybe not even a few weeks later, I was like, holy shit, like, he directed this?
Wow.
Like, I was moved just like you were. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Like, I would have never thought. I thought maybe be like some really good writer who was like, I'm going to make a story about a guy who writes a book report about Mein Kampf and have a black guy put him in the order.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a white guy that directed it because just the whole premise of the movie, it's about Nazis and, everything else.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he probably had to collaborate with a lot of people to get that storyline and screenplay down packed the way it was. But yeah, I thought that too, and I'm sure because even what you call it said he would work with him again. Norton said he would love to work with him again.
Yeah.
So I mean, if but that movie was fucking wicked.
Yeah.
But but anyway.
Well, Norton's a little bit off his rocker anyway.
Huh?
Norton's a little bit off his rocker anyway because he had sex with Courtney Love.
He did?
Yeah, him and Courtney Love dated for a while, and he was talking about how they had sex, and she scratched up his back. And I mean, if you're going to go in the head first in the pool of AIDS, there's something wrong there because she's got to have at least one STD.
That's not curable by love.
Yeah. But no, what I watched the other night, actually, it wasn't last night, it was the other night, I saw a little bit of Django.
That was a fucking good ass movie.
Oh, you did see it?
Oh yeah, I had to. It's Quentin Tarantino.
I'm going to be honest, and I'm not saying this to make a racial joke or anything like that, but I was watching this movie, and I just thought, yeah, white people were bastards back then.
Oh, well, it was filmed on an actual slave plantation, right?
No, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, they act well because you know how Quentin is. He has to be at the thick of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shot majority of the movie on a real actual plantation.
Wow.
So and I think like in the post interview, all four main characters said they were not comfortable with the movie at all. Like they said, Leonardo DiCaprio was the worst one. He said he was not really comfortable playing his part.
Playing
But
or saying the N word?
playing the slave owner. Yeah. No.
Wow.
That was not a problem for him. It was more along the character. Because you know, how, like some people get really deep into their character.
Yeah.
So, and like if anybody likes to kind of justify that to another step up, it's Jamie Foxx. Like once he's in the character, I noticed like when you give him like a normal role, like a simple basic role, he's like, I don't want to act.
Yeah.
But if it's something where it's like you got to step out of the element of your comfort zone, he'll slip in and just get into that zone.
Well, we were talking about DiCaprio not being comfortable with the N word. I didn't see that far into the movie yet, but I did see Don Johnson, and he looked quite comfortable saying that N word.
Oh well,
I mean, he just said it so comfortably.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean,
you gotta be convinced of the role to be like comfortable with it.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is he a good actor, or is there, he's not too fond of brothers?
Look at this. I think Dave Chappelle said it best. Whenever you give somebody the ability to do something that's wrong, that appears right, they're going to capitalize on it at any given moment. So if they know saying the N word to somebody who's black, even if it's something you're supposed to do, they're going to be like, oh, I can finally say it. Nobody can say shit about it. Like, because it's my job to say the N word. Like, what are they going to do? Fucking yell at me, call me a racist? Like, I'm supposed to do this. It's in the screenplay.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Look, honestly, I've learned very young that whenever the N word dropped, I laugh.
Yeah, but that's the devil. He's laughing at our conversation right now. It's Satan. All right, Satan, that's enough. Bedtime. Go to sleep. All right, sorry, Lee.
No, that's cool.
Go ahead.
Nah, basically, in a nutshell, my attitude is whenever the N-word's dropped, I can't really get mad because even in the dictionary, as clear as a bell, it's not designated to anybody of any direct nationality.
Yeah, I
understand that it was devoted directly to, African American or black, or whatever you want to say it. But whenever I hear it, they're like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, but I mean, I had this conversation in the summer on one of the shows with that guy Aaron, and Heather was on too. And Heather and I agreed with each other and disagree with Aaron in the sense that Aaron said the N-word, but he said it
like with an A at the end of it, like nigga.
No, ER. But he was saying it to direct it towards everybody and not just black people. And I was like, come on, man, you don't want to say that. And Heather was saying the same thing as me. And Aaron was saying what you said. Well, if you look in the dictionary, yada, yada, yada. But the thing is that even though it technically says that in the dictionary, today's society, when you say that word, you know what the meaning is behind it.
Right, yeah. Most people comprehend that, too. You're right. I agree.
So,
But this is how I realize it's not a problem. Whenever I see Italian, Spanish, Asian, and pretty much in Irish, and Jewish people even dropping in word, I just say, okay, yeah, it's publicly cool now. I'm just not going to get mad. and we're talking about like a normal conversation. Like I was on the bus today, group of Asian kids, just busting it up. And one kid says something to the other one. And he's like, nigga, please. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, did you just call him that? And he said it it's so, like, it was so lax. He wasn't, like, trying to be, like, cool about it. He was, like, in normal conversation, like, nigga, fuck out of here.
And he was Asian?
Oh, yeah. He's,
You know what you should have done? You should have went up to him and you said, excuse me, did you just call that chink a nigger?
He's like, well, they got real fucking mad real quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm Italian and I'm Irish, and when I watch TV and I hear people talk about Irish people drinking and Italians with the mob, and I laugh. I think it's funny, but I don't know. I mean, the N-word, man, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, no, you're right. And like I said, some people they not saying because even now, I don't know if anybody I know listens to the show or listens to the playbacks. Because a lot of people, I told them already that I'm a resident host with you on the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and it's an open discussion, so anything most likely will go.
That's what I love
that
about
we're
this show. Anything said, anytime.
right, and I made it very clear, like it's not intended to be taken personal. It's just a free, open opinion. It's just us speaking our minds on whatever.
Yeah.
But and I thought about it for a second because I was like, there's going to be a time where probably down the line, even when you get the female host, when she whoever that might be, there's going to be a time where there's going to be a really heated discussion that might come up.
Oh yeah.
And somebody might be on the sidelines ready to ridicule the shit out of me, you, or that girl.
Oh right. Yeah.
And it's like, but I was like, I thought about it too, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's a show. It's intended to be ridiculed and picked on. But at the end of the day, if you're still listening, then you're intrigued. I'm happy.
That's what I'm trying to explain to people when people tell me, no, you can't say this because people will think this way. You know what? If they hear it, that means they're listening, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much about the controversy that and I'm sure it will come up, but it's not about that. It's, like I said, it's really just about speaking your piece on whatever happens to be a topic of discussion at that moment.
Yeah.
But back to the movie. Yeah, if you haven't finished it, trust me, you'll like it. It's a pretty good movie.
Well
written, I should say. It's a better way to put it in context.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I noticed too is that Jamie Foxx wasn't convincing as a slave because he didn't talk like a slave. I heard other slaves in the movie say yes, or yes, all that stuff. But right. I don't know. Jamie Foxx didn't have that accent.
Because I think that's the premise of what that was all about. Because remember, how far did you get into? Was it right before the recruiting process? Like when the guy,
you know what?
Like when he was out there, and he stopped him.
I think the last thing I saw was Jamie Foxx at Don Johnson's house.
Okay, then you haven't got that far yet. Then I won't ruin it for you. But you'll see, kind of, I would say about 45, not even that, like 30 minutes into it.
Yeah.
Probably like maybe a few scenes after that scene, you'll see why he didn't kind of follow that suit because.
Oh, okay. So there's something behind there. He wasn't just like a bad actor in it. Right.
His premise was to kind of come off kind of like the oddball in the group, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Like that was kind of the premise because I'm looking into it, but I was told that Django was actually based off not a comic, but what's it called in Japan? A manga.
Oh.
So, I don't know if that's actually true, but I was looking into it, and I guess that's the premise. And I guess Jamie's character, was intended to act this way purposely. There was a plausible cause for it, and as you watch the movie, you'll see why he acted that way and why he even took the position he takes within the film as it goes on. So, it was a good movie though. Like a lot of people, who did see it, like people who were, I'm sure a lot of people who they never really watched the Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah.
They were probably like, what the fuck? Like, if you watch Pulp Fiction, actually the best film to compare this to would probably be, you ever seen Inglourious Bastards?
One time. I got a little bored with it. I don't think it's as good as everyone else thinks it is, but I did see it.
If you got a sick sense of humor, you would have liked it. But basically, the same, almost not play by play, but almost the same renderance of that movie is kind of tied into this one, and as certain aspects, like certain ways that certain things are portrayed or said, and it's like you got to be like, what the fuck did he just say? Or like, did he just say what I think he just said?
Yeah,
like those type of things.
Yeah.
So, because even people who watch Inglourious Bastards, like if you're Jewish, they were like, some people got really appalled by it. So, but there was others who weren't, who thought it was fucking awesome. I mean, I thought it was cool until those fucking kids showed up.
Well, I want to show the slave respect. So I want to get his name right. Is it Django or just Django?
Django. The D silent.
Oh, okay.
Which he actually says that in the movie.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't get that far.
But yeah, it's Django. Yeah, because I thought it was the Django too, but actually, all right. Oh god, I'm gonna get screwed. I'm gonna get yelled at for this one. You ever heard of the what the fuck's the guy's name? There was two actors,
okay,
who were already black, but at this time they would put on makeup to make themselves look even darker. I'm sure somebody would probably write in a comment who those actors were. And the whole premise is they would put on the show and portray that idea of what black people were perceived at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who saw these two actors never knew for the longest time that they were black already. And there was a hip hop song. I can't remember the name of the group here because I don't really follow that much of the new hip hop because a lot of it's garbage. But there's a part of the song where it's like "Move It like Bojangles."
Oh yeah.
Well, Bojangles was supposedly like think of it like basically it was a slave, but it was like God, I can't. Why's my brain scrambled right now?
Was one of the actors that put on makeup to make themselves look more black? Was one of them Lisa Bonet from the Cosby Show?
No. This was like before I was even born, before they were even born. Like this was like when slavery was still just in that transition of becoming abolished by Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say she's pretty white for a black person.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you okay with that?
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, after all, you did marry Lenny Kravitz.
So are you saying that black people should be black, like dark brown?
No. I don't personally. I don't. When it comes to African American or whatever it might be, whatever your nationality or color complexion is, it is what it is. I don't like it when, this happens. This happens a lot. Even this day and age, it pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Is if somebody the term what they call is fair skinned, meaning you have some lighter complexion into you. So you are black, but your skin looks almost white.
Well, doesn't that mean the parents, one's black, one's white?
In some cases, yeah, but I've seen situations where the kid is light skinned, but the parents are almost as dark as I am. I'm more like a caramel collective color.
Okay.
And that's what I say complected. But but there's some people who have darker skin, and it could just be genetic hop.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like.
You there? Skype says you're offline, Lee, if you can hear me. Why should it go perfect on the show? Yep. And that's the sound of Skype disconnecting Lee. Oh, man. Even in 2013, with a new world, a new studio-ish, everything, it still happens. We could put a man on the moon, but I can't do a show without any kind of technical difficulties. I'm going to try to call him back right now. Come on, Lee. Come on, Skype. Yep, say it says busy. Son of a bitch. All right, Lee's texting me right. Well, I just got a text message. I'm assuming it's Lee. And I'm going to read it to you right now. Once upon a time, Lee says we should do another half an hour block. I wish I could. I'm going to text him back right now. I wish I could, but I gotta do stuff. Now, if you just heard that sound like I did, that was Skype. It sounded like the phone, the Skype phone or whatever, just hung up. So I think he might be trying to call in. But I'm saying to Lee, I wish I could, but I gotta do stuff. But this will leave the audience, meaning you, my friends, wanting more. All right, I'm sending it. Oh, man. Well, that's what happens with technology. I'm going to say it again. I know they say this every show, and I don't want to bore you or anything, but listen, this is an amateur show, and even if I do get paid for it, it's still going to remain amateur in the sense that I'm going to keep the setup, everything the way it is. The only thing I'm going to change is that if me and anyone else who's on the show becomes getting paid for it, the only thing that I would change two things. One, instead of Skype and all that stuff with whoever's on the show all the time, we're going to be together in person in the same room, so we don't have to deal with this crap anymore. The other thing that might change, and it kind of corresponds with the first thing I just said, is that also I would change the times maybe because if we're all in the same room together and it's an 8 o'clock show, I'm not driving to Philly, every night. Summer, all this Four Seasons, all the weather, everything to do the show. And I'm sure whoever's in Philly is going to want to drive to Jersey. Now, technically, we can meet in the middle and just like sit in a car somewhere, or even sit at McDonald's, anywhere there's Wi-Fi or a Wi-Fi signal. Because I mean, that's what I'm using right now. I don't even have internet hooked up to my computer. It's a Wi-Fi signal. It's a little laptop on my chest as I lay in bed, and a good microphone now. Now I have a good microphone. But that's it. That's the whole setup. So in theory, you can do the show anywhere you want. But other than that, it's going to stay the same because I like being low key. And I think if you do something to make yourself famous and then, you change it, there's nowhere to go but anywhere but down. And that's what I can't stand about bands that I like say Slipknot, you know, or even Korn. I love Korn, but the first two albums, Slipknot, the first two albums, they used a great producer, all that stuff. They got famous. What did they do? They changed their sound, and their cop out is because we want to mature as a band. Bull crap! You sold out for money. I'm trying to call him back now. It says calling. Still says calling. There's no hang up sound. And it has Lee's picture. Now, I don't know what's going on here. It says calling. How much time is left? Yeah, see, I got about 3 minutes. Not much you can cover in 3 minutes, but when you're by yourself, 3 minutes is like 3 hours. Come on, Lee. Where are you? Lee. Man, I got so many questions for this guy too because he's just starting to, really get comfortable in the show. And he just mentioned that he grew up in a foster home, or well, not grown up, but at least stayed there because he mentioned a foster family too. I got questions for him with that. He's a very interesting guy. Very interesting. I'm trying to call him again. There's probably no point now. I don't even know if he's around still. But this is what I do. See, this is what I do for you guys. I go through thick and thin. I jump through hoops of fire. And why? Because I care. I care about you. I tell you this all the time. And why don't you listen? I care. Damn it. I love you. Now stick that in your pipe and smoke it. But I digress. And I'm trying to call back Lee. It doesn't seem like it's going through. So Lee, if you're out there, I love you. God bless. Godspeed. And you will return. As God is my witness, we will get through this, God damn it. We are a team. We will become one. Alright, I'm sounding gay now. And if anyone thinks that I'm gay, you're wrong, because I have a girlfriend. And I tried watching gay porn before, and it makes me nauseous. I couldn't even watch it for more than 10 seconds without getting physically nauseous. I'm not kidding. But I have nothing against gay people. I wish them all the best. I promote gay marriage if you're gay. And only if you're gay do I promote gay marriage. But if you're straight, then marry opposite sex. And time is out. So Lee, if you're listening, tomorrow. Everybody else, tomorrow. If you're not with us, go to hell. And see you later.
If you would like to be a part of the Dominic DeMarco Show or advertise on the show, let us know by going to DominicDeMarco.com and filling out the form at the bottom of the page.